Hey guys, welcome to a new video. And today's video, we're going to more or less react to financial advice from different finance professionals, actually different professionals in general. So hope you like it, sit back and enjoy. So this is the first video, and more or less we're going to be reacting to this day in the life of Brian Nicole. Starbucks just named him the new CEO, so definitely he should know what he's saying. So let's find out.
And this is my daily routine. I wake up around 5:45, 6 in the morning, usually have a cup of coffee.
I know it's early to pause it, but you can't lie. Everyone you hear about that is successful wakes up quite early. Everyone I know that does well and is doing great stuff, apart from musicians, tend to wake up at 5:45 a.m. And I don't think it's the time per se when they wake up. I just think for you to wake up that early, it also meant that late at night you're not doing any BS, so you have to sleep early. So that stops you from actually doing stuff that could hinder your progress as well. So I don't know, there's a trend for sure. I'm not saying it's causation, but there's definitely a correlation between how successful you are and what time you sleep and wake up. I can almost bet if I was to find research, it will support that fact. But let's continue.
I like espresso, so I usually make an Americano in the morning. Always hot. And if I can, I'd like to have a cookie with it. Head out for a workout around 7 a.m. Some mornings I try to do some strength training, lift weights, and then other mornings it's more like going for a run/walk.
Listen, this sounds like my daily routine. Wake up at 5, coffee or pre-workout, and then train.
Get back in time, have a quick, usually shake, bunch of fruit, some oats, peanut butter, and a little protein powder. I kind of bounce between that and eggs and sausage. My youngest daughter still needs a ride to school, so I usually take her to school if I'm in town. Then I usually head to the office. I live in Newport Beach, California. The drive from my house to the office is about 10-15 minutes. Usually to the office by 8:30, 9 o'clock in the morning. Start my day usually with checking in with my assistant to go over what's happening for the day around 9 in the morning. Usually we have our first staff meeting at 10 in the morning. That goes until about noon. And in our staff meeting, all the folks that are my direct reports, we go over what's happening in the business. A highlight of the day is lunch is usually around 12.
Okay, so I think the main takeaway so far is because he's a CEO, he has a lot of meetings in the morning, which he can't get away from. But I would say, if you can actually do it, make sure you have no meetings in the morning. And if you do, it has to be a very important meeting where you're more or less presenting something you've done before. So you're more or less presenting some analysis to people, because then that way you are your freshest. I always say it, in the morning is when you should do your most important work. And most important per se might not mean the work that requires the most brain power. It can also be the work that will make you look good to other people. It's those pieces of work that will get you that promotion, those pieces of work that actually get you that extra 2K for your bonus. You want to do that or present that early in the morning, or not early in the morning, but you want to present that at least between 9 and 12, because after 12, we tend to get tired again. Which is why we take a coffee, we take energy drinks just to keep us alert. But if you can, I highly recommend doing your most important and vital task in the morning.
Of course, we have Chipotle. Not every day. If I could, I would, but not every day. We continue after we have a little lunch break with our strategic initiatives meeting, which is where we review key items that we're working on. That usually goes from, call it 1 to 3, maybe 3:30. I do try to end the day where you don't have any meetings or phone calls, so that you can kind of just think through what happened throughout the day. And
I highly recommend that as well. I think at the end of the day, it's very easy to be angry at work and just go home and forget about what happened. But at the end of the day, you should actually reflect on how the whole day went. You should more or less journal how the day went, what happened, what you can improve on, what are the key takeaways, because the only way to improve at work is to understand what you're doing wrong and try and fix that. A lot of people sometimes have some sort of arrogance where they think, I don't need to improve. If people are telling me my work is not good, it's because of them, not because of anything with me. I can tell you for a fact that working in a big bank will humble you. You should always reflect on how your day went. No one is a 10 out of 10. No one is perfect. No one does everything they should do perfectly during the day. But the whole point of having a routine is to make sure it's iterative, make sure that it can change and it can adapt so that you can improve day to day.
And what do you think you want to talk about tomorrow? Or are we working on the right things? And are we talking about the right stuff? And then usually we wrap it up by 5:30, 6, and home by 6:30, and try to walk the dog before we have dinner, usually with our kids.
Home at 6:30 or stopping work at 6:30 is a dream.
And everybody around 7. It's usually not a sit-down dinner, but Jen and I make some quick dinner, and then the kids complain about what they didn't particularly like that we made, and then we end up usually making an order for some food as well. Post dinner, usually Jen and I go for a walk and talk about how we do it again the next day. We pick a show to watch. I like to watch SportsCenter. My youngest daughter really likes Modern Family. I feel like I've rewatched all of them. We're in, I think, season 10 or 11. It's a funny show, so it's a good one to watch. Once we wrap it up, we usually read for 20-30 minutes, and then it's rare that the lights are on past 10 o'clock.
Yeah, like I said, for him to wake up at 5, he needs to sleep early, which means he can't be outside drinking, doing drugs, and doing all sorts of degenerate behavior, because he has to be awake the next morning on time to get to work. And, I think to a lot of people, this routine might seem boring. It might seem like, what the hell would I want to live my life like this? But again, you have to pick. Do you want your life to have purpose and meaning or not? For it to have purpose and meaning, of course, you need to sacrifice your time, especially on the weekdays. On the weekends, as you can see from my vlogs, I go out, I have fun. But weekdays, I have to be on the job all the time to make sure I'm getting the most done that I can. So this is the next video, and it's more or less going to be Shaquille O'Neal giving us financial advice, which scares me.
Josh is asking that as somebody who started accumulating money at a very young age, what advice would you give to...
Can you imagine the amount of money he's earned probably in his whole lifetime? I can't even think about it.
Young people about the need to accumulate money earlier. Is there anything that you did wrong in the early years that you would advise people to avoid?
I did a lot of things wrong. May I have a piece of paper?
I'm sorry, sir.
May I have a piece of paper? Blank sheet of paper.
Imagine you're on the trading floor and Shaq was also a trader. He looks so funny because he's actually sitting on like a wooden seat, and yeah, the whole thing looks weird. Like, he's effing massive. That guy's probably not even that small. He's probably like 5'9", 5'10", but he looks like a kid next to him.
Can I rip it?
Go ahead.
All right. Children, young guys coming to a lot of money. This is $100. Okay. What you want to do is you want to rip the 100 in half. 50. Save it. Don't even touch it. Invest. Put it away. Don't even look at it. Now you got 50 left. Now the smart people, the real smart people, the billionaires of the world, they'll take half of that 50, put all that away. This right here, have fun. You want to buy houses, you want to buy cars, you want to buy planes, you want to travel. This right here is what you have fun with. This right here is what you need for when you retire. So you invest, you put it away, you save it, you don't touch it. This is the house money. This is what you play with.
I think that's quite good advice, because it's saying out of 100%, you want to be investing at least, what's that, 75% of your money. I'll say for most people, like I say, invest at least 60% of your money, and after paying your fixed cost, of course. And then the rest of it, yeah, do what you want, honestly. Like, you want to live life as well, right? You're working to protect your future, but also you want to enjoy your present. So that means 5-10% can be used to shayo, can be used to go clubbing if you want, can be used to do whatever fugazi fuckery you want to do, but live your life.
Do you like spending money? Clearly not.
Eminem.
Not particularly. I heard a story that you wanted to buy a watch, and at this point, you'd sold millions of albums, and you wanted to buy a watch.
I know the story.
Is that true? You called up your manager to see if you could afford to buy the watch?
Yeah. I think it was a Rolex. Was it a Rolex? It was a Rolex. And I asked him, could I afford it? Because they make fun of me for it, but I'm for real. Like, I don't, you know what I mean? Like, this is the whole money thing, all that stuff was brand new to me.
So what are you wearing right now?
This is a G-Shock.
A G-Shock, that's
Back in the day, G-Shock was the shit. I remember it clearly. Like, I think I was probably in high school. Everyone had a nice G-Shock, and I didn't have one because I was broke.
It's probably about $100.
Do you like spending money?
He didn't say much, but the title of the video was "Luxury was created to keep you poor," which I can kind of see where they're coming from, because the truth is a t-shirt is a t-shirt. It's all made in the same place. LV puts its brand name on it, and now it's worth £200. But the honest truth is, it's not worth that. They're making a lot of money based on the fact that we believe that wearing this black t-shirt from LV gives us some sort of social status. And it does, right? Let's be honest with you. A girl, we're looking at two guys, the same shit, 6 foot banker. One guy tends to wear very like no brand clothing, and another guy is not even flashy, but he's wearing a Patek Philippe watch. You would think, oh, the guy with the Patek probably has more money, and she will always go with that guy more times than not. So yes, wearing luxury does give you some sort of social status, but if it's at the expense of your future, then it will never make sense, right? A lot of times you see like a lot of billionaires, they tend to wear the same stuff over and over, the same black t-shirt, blue jeans, and you are always going to Selfridges to buy the latest clothes from all those high beast brands. But why? What's the point? The point is to try and make you believe that you're doing well in life because you have all this stuff around you. I rather wear, well, you can tell from my dressing, I'm fine wearing the same gym clothes, the same clothes all the time, the same pair of jeans. I've probably worn those baggy black jeans every video you've seen me, and I'm fine with that because I rather own real assets. Like, my fulfillment will come from owning various property, will come from having a lot of money invested, than having an effing LV shoe or an effing Balenciaga bag. Like, I don't care about that stuff. This last video, it's more or less Jamie Dimon giving us career advice, and Jamie Dimon is the CEO of JP Morgan, the world's biggest investment bank. So let's see.
Are there a couple pieces of advice you would give to someone who's just maybe starting their career and looking at this fast-changing business environment, asking how they're going to maintain their...
Work hard. There's no such thing as success without hard work. So some people have this quick, get-rich-quick notion. I've never seen it. I mean, maybe it's like a casino. Maybe
I was having this debate the other day, right? Obviously, the notion of hard work equals to success most of the time is kind of true. And to most people, it has to be true, right? Because the hard work in of itself might not be the reason why you become successful, but the hard work in of itself might be able to put you in a position where you would then be able to meet someone and you become successful, if that makes sense. So I get why people say work hard, but the truth is some people are just effing talented. What will take you 5 hours to understand might take someone else 2 minutes. No amount of hard work would ever put you on that person's level. The notion of hard work is true, but also everyone has a genetic limit for every single thing. You have a genetic limit for how much muscle you can put on. You have a genetic limit for how tall you can get. There are loads of different factors that can impact where you go in life. And a lot of times, the cap is not your hard work. The cap is your genetic capability. It's like saying the people that are getting Fs and Es at GCSEs, if they worked harder, they would get A stars. They probably will not get A stars, but they could get a C or a D, which is still not good enough. And at that point, what do you tell those people? It's an honest conversation that a lot of people don't want to have, but some people can't just be great based on the genetic capabilities. You can improve. Sometimes that's still not enough to be successful, and we need to be honest. But I guess you tell everyone to work hard because you technically don't know where you could go until you try. But anyway, that probably didn't make sense, did it? I don't know. Let me know.
It's happened, but it's not the normal way. Second, you're going to spend your life learning. You know, I read 4 or 5 newspapers every morning. I read tons of stuff. I read everything that people send me. You're going to learn, when you go out on the road, learn. You learn from clients, learn from competitors, you learn when we meet with small business, you're always learning. And that could be a small thing that someone said, why do you do this? You say, my God, we should do that differently. It's a very large thing. Even innovation sometimes is not an aha. It's a lot of little things added on top of each other. The iPhone was 3G, you know, the glass, the semiconductors, the batteries. It wasn't one thing that created an iPhone. So learn. Treat people the way you want to be treated. You know.
Treat people the way you want to be treated. It's true, but it's also very, this is career advice, right? But I'm going to extend it to life advice. The truth about people and relationships is it's always a power struggle. Like, we all know this, right? It's always a power struggle. It's always who has the leverage. Because we all know that in work and even in different workplaces, like, managers can treat the employees like shit because the manager has the leverage, which is why we have HR. Every single relationship is a power struggle. There's always someone that has more leverage. Nothing is ever 50-50. So yes, you should treat people how you want to be respected, but more times than not, that's not the case, right? Do as I say, not as I do.
So be a little bit flexible in the job you take and try, you know, in your lifetime, you should be prepared to do a bunch of different things. We tell people it's your job to take care of your mind, your body, your spirit, your soul, your friends, your family, and you need to do that at any level, because if you don't, you know, you probably won't be a particularly productive worker. We can help, but we can't do it for you. We can provide opportunities, but we can't do it for you. Second,
I know this might be controversial, but I 100% agree with him. And I think, let's say 20 years ago, maybe companies were not doing enough to support their employees. But I think right now, companies are doing quite a lot to show their support out there. There's mental health support, there's work support, and all of that is out there. Now, the counter argument could be, well, if you work in an investment bank, you have to work long hours, and that's not fair. But then you shouldn't take the job. You shouldn't apply for a job you cannot do. If you're going into banking and finance or even into law, we all know from my vlogs, everyone else's vlogs, that this requires a lot of long hours. But you are being selfish and going into it for the pay, and then you get into it and then complain about the long hours, but you already knew the long hours you could not do. Don't go into a job if you cannot do it. The job itself will never change for you, I promise. Like, you watching this video right now, if your goal is law, consulting, banking, software engineering, these jobs that pay you well starting off require a lot of hours, effort, and sacrifice. Don't go into that job and complain about it. The job is what the job is. They can give support to help you in the job, but the job is not going to change. So you make this decision yourself and not go into a job that you cannot do because you can't do it. So don't go into it, if that makes sense. Hopefully it does. So yeah, hope you found that video useful. If you did, put down in the comments what you enjoyed the most about the video, like the video, and if you want me to react to any video, send to me on Instagram, Emeka Odo, or just put the video link in the comments. And if you enjoyed these reactions, let me know, and I'll see you guys in the next video.